What? The y'all agree retired NBA player Jay Williams feels black community's real issue with Wilson is that they question is he black enough. First of all, when he says the black community, what y'all, when he says about he's talking about black men, first of all, number 1. Number 2, that is not a question, is he black enough? What the fuck are you talking about? Let's hear what he has to say. Hold on. Come on, bitch.
Or it's not as spoken about as much.
Wait.
To me, this is a bigger kind of thing within the black community. Be real with you, right?
Men.
Like there will be a lot of people that would say, "Is Russell Wilson black enough? Like, is he black enough?" Right? And which is the most ignorant thing that I've heard, because
that is not it.
And
I have never heard
to the
that.
whole authenticity. Like, he is authentic to himself and how he wants to be, right? Like, now that may not be culturally accepted by everybody. Maybe
because culturally acceptable is Future. Because that's what's culturally acceptable. Culturally acceptable is Future. Maybe he's not black enough because he's not doing the typical black male behaviors. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Because he said culturally. Let's hear. Because hold on. Because little girl went off. Hold on.
To me, this is a bigger kind of thing within the black community. Be real with you, right? Like there will be a lot of people that would say, "Is Russell Wilson black enough? Like, is he black enough?" Right? And which is the most ignorant thing that I've heard. Because key, like, to the whole authenticity. Like, he is authentic to himself and how he wants to be, right? Like, now that may not be culturally accepted by everybody, but like, yo, shouldn't we praise a dude that is an incredible stepfather? And there's also this whole comparison, to be honest with you, about, he's married to Ciara, who came off being with Future, who was a culture type guy, right? In the rap game. So people like to compare those two lifestyles and what that is. And, is he really truly urban enough? Like, you don't have to be urban enough. Russell Wilson, keep being your damn self.
What does that say, though, y'all?
That's what I just said. Though,
I know.
Jay,
I
want to follow up.
Well, hold on,
that.
Max. Let me finish my point for a second, because
this
is the kind of stuff that really annoys me and it bothers me. Because I feel like we don't reward that type of behavior as much, or it's not as spoken about as much, because we like to focus on "let's ride" or things like that that make him seem quote unquote cheesy or corny. And it's like, yo, but that's who this dude is.
No, that's who he is to me.
And that's okay. Like, that's black too to me. And that bothers me that happens within our community. To me.
He's right. Okay, so that's what we talking about. That's why I was like, maybe he's talking about because Future is what's culturally acceptable. Like, there were men online saying that they would want their daughter to be with a Future before a Russell Wilson, so that I guess they can get the black experience. They would want their son to be like Future, but they wouldn't want their daughter with a Future. And then he said, but I would want her to be with a Future first. Like, I guess, be traumatized, go through the bullshit, and then you'll earn a Russell Wilson. Like, it's crazy. These niggas are crazy. And they be saying anything. They just be saying anything. But that man, he went on the right path. He didn't take us down the wrong path. Because I'm like, maybe he's talking about what's culturally acceptable. And what does that say? It's culturally acceptable. And I've been saying that. It's culture. It's culture. It's culture. It is culturally acceptable. And I think that's the problem. That's the problem. And it's like, she's a single mother. She was supposed to be the trademark bitter baby mom online, running after, sniffing after Future. That's what she was supposed to do, because that happens so much that it was outside of what's culturally traditional. And that's, I don't know if it's sad, because then you have to say, if you, the bad thing about the cultural tradition is that the men are not taking care of the children. It's not so much that she's a single mother. I told you I was on this mission. I'm changing the language and how we think about stuff like that, because it doesn't make sense, because it is a modern template of a family where a lot of children are coming from single parent homes. But in this case, Ciara was supposed to be running after Future. She was supposed to be making memes online, posting things, and people trying to figure out if they're back together or she's messing with him. No, she was not supposed to. And when she found Russell Wilson, or they found each other, and then the fact that she has a child, and what's sad is, as a woman, having a child should be like honorable, but they're like, you have a child now, something is wrong with you, so you are undeserving of partnership. Which it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. And it's like, okay, so if anyway, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like a bunch of contradictions. And then when you're trying to like rationalize these things, or like, it's just like, that doesn't make sense. Like, a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense when you actually take the whiteboard out, get the goddamn sticky notes, and the fucking yarn, and start piecing this stuff together. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like Lori Harvey, who actually messed with Future too. It's like, you're talking about these two women who are actually going the opposite way of what's culturally traditional. Lori Harvey is supposed to be happy she found a man like Michael B. Jordan. She's supposed to want to marry that man. She's 25 years old, and everybody is saying that this is what she's supposed to be doing, and she's not doing that, because Black women have operated from this scarcity, like there's not enough good Black men. So if you find you a good Black man, you better snatch them up. And it's that scarcity mindset when there's like millions of options of different types of men. It's not just that. And I think when you are declining a proposal or declining a long-term relationship with someone, everybody's like, no, he's a good Black man. And then in the reality, you don't even know shit about Michael B. Jordan. Nothing. So Lori Harvey and Ciara they're going the opposite way of what is traditional, what is acceptable. And they're not saying, well, I'm 25 and I'm about to commit my life to someone. Girl, baby, when I heard Justin J, King of Reeds, when he said she's just 4 years off of being able to drink, now you want to put her in a marriage to be committed to somebody? Girl, no, that's so crazy to me. And then when I think about, like, even as a society, what's culturally acceptable is that girls get married, that men and women get married that young. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. Your brain just finished developing, and you want her to do what? And she's only lived 25 years, and you want her to do what for the rest of her what? Are you crazy? Girl, have a life to live. And you want her to be attached to some dude because what? Girl, when she already has what a person who would marry somebody would want to gain. She already has that. So these niggas is desserts. Shout out to Lori Harvey. I don't care. Shout out to Ciara, because I think it makes the people malfunction because it's not culturally acceptable. And what's sad is that this man even said, like, you're calling this dude a simp because he's nice to another person's child, because he married Ciara. You're calling him, and then some people are even said that he lowered his stock because he got with a woman who had a child. Like, it's like, what? Are you crazy? Like, so you're saying that this woman with a child should just remain by herself because she has a child? Girl, that don't even make sense. That's why I said some of this thing, when you talk about it, then you sound crazy, because it's like, even trying to rationalize it, you're like, it's drunk logic. It is just drunk ass logic. And you're like, I can't figure it out. You trying to find the straw and everything else, child. It's a mess. And that man is right. It's like, why is that acceptable? A future type is acceptable. So you say he's not black enough because he isn't mistreating women. Ooh, that's bad. That's not good. That's not good, y'all. That's a horrible image to have attached to you as a man, as a black man, that you're not black enough because you're not mistreating women. You're not like Future. You're not, and then for other black men to sit around each other and be like, yeah, I want my daughter to date a Future. Like, that's what you want for your child? Don't have babies with that man, ladies. Because this man's saying that it would be okay for a man to be like Future to your child. So he is not suitable to procreate with. I know he has a child. It's that dude from table 8 at the table, whatever, with the earring and the bandanas and stuff. Proud to be like weird and toxic. Like, it's so weird. I mean, look at and you saying this out loud, and then you wonder, like, they're saying it out loud because it's acceptable. And that's why you need people to be the opposite voice of that, because that shit that's crazy. You should not want to partner with a man who says, I want my daughter to meet and have an experience with a man like Future. That's ugly.